Sri Sangma.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity to participate in this particular debate. This is my maiden speech here, so I'm highly privileged and happy to be a part of this debate. Sir, I won't take much time. I'll be very, very specific in my points. So first of all, it's very sad that every time we discuss or hear about Kashmir, it is always for the wrong reasons. And it's the same for Northeast also. Both are such beautiful and potential states and regions, and yet always they're in the news for the wrong reason. Even as we speak, tension prevails out there. And I think as Mr. Beg and Mr. M.G. Akbar had mentioned, that there is a history behind this whole thing, why this has happened. And I think we all appreciate that history, and we all realize the complexity of the situation. Having said that, sir, as a very, very new member out here, I still feel like I'm a person who's sitting in the gallery and watching. In 2 days' time, especially in today's debate, it did hurt when I saw that in an issue like this, there was a lot of politics going on about who's right and who's wrong. And as a young politician, sometimes you do look at this and you do feel discouraged that these kind of things happen, especially when an issue like, such sensitive issue like Kashmir is being talked about. Nonetheless, sir, I am hopeful and I believe that if we put our hearts and minds together, solution will come. We will find a way forward. This is my belief, sir. And I think when we think about this, like we do in any problem, we look at the short term, the medium term, and the long term, and figure out how we can take different steps in all these aspects. Blaming each other is not going to help us. Sir, we all know that, yes, there is a complex problem out here, but a lot has to do from across the border. The government across the border, to a large extent, has been inactive and not stern in taking tough decisions. And we all know that there are different terrorist camps that are there across the border in Pakistan, but the Pakistan government has not done anything to stop or to destroy these camps. And I must say, and I must congratulate our Prime Minister, who has taken steps to ensure that he urges and encourages and is engaged with the Pakistan government to ensure that these things are closed, but sadly, the Pakistan government has not responded. We all know, sir, that this is because of the Pakistan Army and the ISI. The intelligence group in Pakistan, as well as the army in Pakistan, has a lot to do with this. If Kashmir issue is gone, Pakistan Army and ISI loses all its funding and its importance. The only reason they're keeping Kashmir issue alive is to keep themselves alive. Today, the government in Pakistan is run by ISI and by the government, by the army. So that is why it's sad to see that the Pakistan government is not able to act. I think all international countries know, all the developed nations know that Pakistan has got different terrorist camps are there in Pakistan. Yet, action is not being taken. And this is where I think I would like to thank once again our Honorable Prime Minister. One of the members had mentioned that he's touring all different countries and going around. And I think there is definitely purpose in this. Today, it is very, very critical that we do apply international force. We do apply international sanctions to Pakistan. We ensure that pressure is given from different developed countries to ensure that no funds are given to them. So I think if economic sanctions are put in, and this can only be done when our relationships improve with different nations, and I think that's what our Honorable Prime Minister is trying to do. I think that international pressure, those international sanctions, I think will force Pakistan to act against these terrorist camps. But sir, in the meantime, it's very sad to see that it is our Jawans and our army personnel who are facing the heat. While they do the sacred duty of protecting our people and our land, the kind of suffering that they go through, sir, we all know the kind of sacrifice. And I think I take this opportunity to salute each and every one of them and to know and to tell them that we are all proud of what they're doing for the nation. Sir, having said that, I strongly believe that we need to improve the infrastructure in different borders of our nation. Today, if you were to look at other countries across our border, I don't want to name, but I'm sure everybody will know, the kind of infrastructure they have at their border. They don't even need to put people there to protect it. Because when there is a problem, the army and the personnel can reach there within half an hour or 15 minutes notice because the infrastructure is so good. But in our country, it is the opposite. We need to place our Jawans and army people in such corners of the country, in such difficult terrains, that they have to live in such difficult condition. If the government in India can improve the infrastructure in the border areas, I would like to know from the minister, in fact, how much money do we spend for our Jawans to sit in those far-flung areas? Whether it's Siachen, of course, is a very critical point. We cannot let that go. But like Siachen, there are many locations which are very cut off. And government is spending crores and crores every day to put our people there. Can we use that money instead to build the infrastructure so that our people can reach there at a faster pace? That would cut our cost, that would be ensure we act faster, at the same time the Jawans will also not suffer that much. I think the situation in Northeast is the same. So apart from the borders that we have, sir, I strongly feel that this physical borders and this physical infrastructures that we're going to create, for us to really hit this problem at the bottom, I strongly feel that we need economic borders. Need to create jobs and economic opportunities for our youth and economic in these border areas. We need educational borders. We need to put up good institutions in these areas so that there is an economic border, there is an education border set up. We need social borders to be set up. Simply having physical borders might not serve our purpose. So I strongly encourage that we go for economic borders, social borders, education borders to solve this problem. Sir, sadly, I would like to come to this point, but sadly when our people, our Jawans are in the action, sometimes civilians are affected. We are targeting the enemy, but we end up hurting our own people. Sometimes totally unavoidable. But I guess, sir, it is important that we learn to differentiate. And I think here we cannot blame our armed forces. They are doing their duty. I think it is the policymakers who need to make sure that the right policy is taken. I'm sure our intelligence network, whether it's the RAW or whether it's the IB, I'm sure is doing its part very well. But I strongly feel that if there is action based on strong intelligence input and we have specific targets hit, I think the civilian impact will be lesser. So I think we need to invest more in intelligence. I think we need to increase our budget allocation for RAW and for IB so that the right input comes to us and we're able to attack and target specific people and not the civilians in general. Because as I said, sometimes this causes more pain and harm than actual good to us. So having said that, we are all aware, and I think so many members before me have spoken about the Armed Forces Special Power Act. And sir, I, as a person from Northeast, I have with my own eyes, I've seen the atrocities that are done against the civilians. And I also would like to join the rest to condemn the Armed Forces Special Power Act, and I would like to request the government to ensure that this is repealed and this is taken out. This is a draconian act, and I'll tell you, sir, if this is done, I think that will be the first step towards creating trust for the people. People will start trusting the government. In Manipur, we know what's happening, sir. Sharmila has been fasting for more than 10 years for this particular issue. So therefore, I strongly feel that when we have acts like these and we act against civilians, that is where we are going wrong, sir. And when people who are being attacked as civilians are friends, when we attack them, we make them our enemies, sir. They're not enemies. Some of them are our friends, but our actions lead them to become our enemies. This in some areas is not a war. When you go to Meghalaya, when you go to parts of Arunachal and Manipur, it's not a war, sir. But our actions make it a war. When the kind of atrocities we do against the common people, they want to get back at the system. So I strongly feel, sir, we need to realize that we need the human touch at the right place, and I feel the intelligence network will help us to reach that. Having said that, sir, I have always believed that the problem of militancy, whether in Northeast or in most parts of the country, is not the problem, sir. The problem is socio-economic, and the result is militancy. It is not because these boys want to be militants, but they have no choice, as Mr. Badruddin Ajmal was mentioning. They have no choice. Some of them are on the payroll. They are paid 5,000, 10,000 rupees to be part of a group. So the problem is socio-economic, and the result is militancy. We are attacking, sir, just my first speech, sir. Just give me 2 minutes.
Please try to be very brief.
Sir, just 2 minutes lunga, sir, khali.
Sir, allow him to lose this.
So, sir, that's why. Dhanyawad, sir. So that is why, sir, I also believe, and I thank the Prime Minister, that if he has this mantra of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, that is the way to move forward. We need the development to touch the people. Socioeconomic problems being solved, I am sure that militancy also will slowly disappear. We need development for peace, not peace for development. So we need the development first, and I strongly feel peace will follow forward. Sir, last point which I want to make is regarding the kind of way that we handle the people who come and surrender. So recently in my state of Meghalaya, there was a group called ANVC that surrendered about 2 years back and signed a peace agreement with the government of India. So till today, after 2 years, 2 साल हो गए सर, आज तक उस agreement का कुछ नहीं हुआ. वो agreement जैसा था वैसा ही है अभी तक, और ना किसी कैडर को 1 रुपया दिया गया है, ना एक काम दिया गया है आज तक. तो अगर भारत सरकार की तरफ से और मेघालय सरकार की तरफ से जो वादा किया था, अगर वो वादा पूरी तरह निभाएंगे नहीं, तो बाकी मिलिटेंट्स आगे कैसे आएंगे? बाकी मिलिटेंट्स के पास कैसे एक ट्रस्ट होगा कि हां सरकार सीरियस है? 2 साल हो गए सर. आज इन कैडर्स और इन ग्रुप्स के जो लोग हैं वो वापस जाने की सोच रहे हैं या नया ग्रुप खोलने की सोच रहे हैं सर. तो मेरा ये अनुरोध है हमारी सरकार से कि इस इशू को सीरियसली ले, और जब कुछ वादा किया कि एग्रीमेंट में हम लोग आपको ये चीज देंगे, वो वादे को हम लोग पूरी तरह निभाएं, तभी जाके विश्वास आगे आएगा. और सर, इसमें एक 6 शेड्यूल का एक अमेंडमेंट था, जो हमारा जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में 6 अमेंडमेंट है रिगार्डिंग डिस्ट्रिक्ट काउंसिल. सो उसमें एक अमेंडमेंट था सर 6 शेड्यूल का. वो अमेंडमेंट भी जो बिल है वो भी 2 साल पहले आना था, आज तक नहीं आया, और वो सर वो टैक्स एग्रीमेंट का वो एक भाग था. My request would be, sir, the 6th schedule amendment that we had proposed, that amendment should be done immediately, and I request the Home Ministry to look into that aspect, as I said, because the trust of the people, the trust of these cadres who have surrendered is going down. And I think if we lose the trust, then I think it will be very difficult to bring it back again. So therefore, sir, I don't want to take much time. I thank you for giving me this opportunity. I once again urge that we all the parties have united today. It's a very positive symbol, but of course a lot of fireworks were there, which is again healthy for democracy. But I would like to urge that we work together, sir, and I also support the cause for an all-party delegation, if that can be done, that can go to Kashmir and actually meet the people, sir. I think it will serve a lot. So once again, thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak on the subject. Thank you, sir.